going to build mutually beneficial regional and global relations while advancing South Africa's trade, industrial policy, and economic development goals. And in a world that is increasingly being shaped by shifting geopolitical dynamics and economic uncertainty, our international engagements must be strategic. We have to promote partnerships that open markets for South African goods and services, attract investment, and ensure that South Africa remains an active and influential participant in shaping global trade and competition rules. The third thing that I wanted to raise is the DTIC is committed to easing broad-based economic participation through targeted interventions. We recognize that economic growth must be inclusive, hence our deliberate focus on supporting SMMEs, empowering women and youth, as well as enhancing the capabilities of Black-owned businesses. In this regard, transformation is not only a moral imperative, but also an economic necessity. The criticism that the Competition Commission and the Competition Tribunal are instruments of transformation, it's not a criticism, it's an affirmation of fact. The problem is that people are trying to turn transformation into a swear word. It is not. It will never be. And it is one area of public policy that we are not going to concede on. It is not up for negotiation domestically. It is not up for negotiation internationally. And we've made this point categorically clear, including to those who have said we must repeal some parts of our transformation legislation in order to secure trade deals. That is not going to happen. And to bastardize transformation to mean what it is not doesn't change what it is about. It is your choice to bastardize what is written down, to misread it on purpose in order to sustain a false narrative. But it doesn't change the facts that this is what transformation is essentially about, and it is going to be sustained. What can be debated is the efficacy of instruments of transformation, not the underlying principle of transformation. And because I have a political responsibility to make political sense, I illustrate this point in this manner. The alternative to abandoning transformation is social upheaval. It's a fact of life. If South Africa's income inequality persists in the racially articulated manner that it does, South Africa is going to burn. That is the only viable path that you are proposing if you say transformation must be abandoned. There is no society on earth that is going to consign itself into social instability because a few people are uncomfortable with complying to a dividend that all of us deserve in order to hold our country together. And it would be remiss of the political leadership of South Africa to ban the constitutional design of South Africa at the stake because someone across the Atlantic is waving a gun towards us. It's not going to happen. This has nothing to do with what political parties in office. It has everything to do with the moral project that for centuries, South Africans of all races and all creeds fought for, to define the idea of what it means to live in a fair, in a just, in a humane, and in an equitable society. And redress is only just a pathway to that outcome. Any other proposition is to consign South Africa to a possibility that it averted when 1994 came. So transformation is not a swear word. It is not a partisan perspective. It is a moral perspective that defines the very idea of what South Africanhood is about. If someone asks you, what does it mean to be South African? What is the essence of being South African? Tell them a simple thing. To be South African is to represent the moral proposition that it is possible to construct a new social order on the basis of the mutual recognition that social division, that prejudice, that structural discrimination can be overcome by designing an institutional order that imposes on all of us the imperative to transform society for the better so that it can truly belong to all of us in equal proportion. If that is to put us in the crosshairs of anybody, we must be prepared to defend simply that idea. Not the flag, not the name South Africa. Those can be changed tomorrow. Not me standing here as Deputy Minister. I will be gone in 2029. Worry less about me. Not the commissioner, not the idea of what it means to be South African. It is the only heritage that we share and we must defend. I know sometimes we mislead ourselves and say we will bond around the Springboks, we will bond around. All of those are important only when they reinforce this idea of South Africanness. They are not important in and of themselves. They are important as reinforcements to this grand idea. And that is what transformation is about. Your irritations about who benefits from this and that, you are now discussing the technical detail of the efficacy of the instrument, not the substance of the notion of transformation. And the Competition Commission has a duty, therefore, to assist South Africa to achieve those optimal outcomes. And those outcomes are measured at best in moral terms and not in economic data points. Now that I'm done with that ramble, I will focus now on the fact that we are actively creating a fair regulatory environment that enables investment, trade, and enterprise development while ensuring that such development occurs in an equitable and socially responsible manner. This